Hey, it's Julin and Jen with Autonomy Learning. And today we're going to unpack a little bit about the learning process and try to kind of contrast that with what we've been talking about in our blog and with our Motivation Minute, where our society is pushing more and more towards instant and quick and fast. And when we do so, that kind of sends kids the message that if it's not coming fast or instantly or quick, that something is wrong with either what they're trying to do, or worse yet, something's wrong with them, that they can't do it quickly.
When in fact, it can be really beneficial to normalize for kids the fact that really authentically learning something new or doing something challenging is a process. And we even talk with kids about the shape of that process because it's a little bit like climbing up a mountain and getting to a peak. And sometimes you go down the mountain and sometimes you go down a little bit, you slide and you have to climb up another higher mountain, right? So it's not a one and done kind of process to really deeply understand something.
Right. And usually, at the beginning, you're so excited, this big climb, and you kind of get in the start of things, right? And then as it gets difficult, that's where you need, again, some coaching to get through some of those hard times, not to get away from those, because you're never going to get up the mountain if you just kind of jump off, right? It's, hey, I need some support getting through this. And support can look really different in a lot of different ways. And I think one of the things that, we really strongly encourage is that you praise the specific effort that they're putting in and not necessarily just great job, you can do this. This is easy. Like really shifting that around and saying, I see you've got this, this, and this.
Mhm.
You've gotten this far. I know this about you, and really kind of using those as ways to scaffold and support as they continue to move.
So while it can be tempting to take the big tall mountain and say, oh, let me make the mountain a little shorter for you, right? Let me make this task easier. Or sometimes we're tempted to say, okay, I'm going to come in and I'll help you and I'll be right by your side. And that's not bad, but it's sending a message that it's your presence that makes this task something that your child can manage, right? When in fact, we want to flip that. And so you might consider saying something more like, well, I've seen you learn this really cool trick on your bike last week. That took a lot of focus. That took a lot of effort. I remember you worked for hours to get that trick just the way that you wanted it. So reminding your child of past experiences where they dug in, where they really followed that process while they may not have realized it, and took the time, the persistence, all the pieces that it takes to do something that's not easy.
Yeah. And give yourself grace as teachers and parents as well, because doing this does take a lot of effort on our part too. It would be much easier to jump in, swoop in, to make it smaller, to do all those. That would be easier, right?
And might work in the short term.
Yeah, but it'll probably come up again.
It will.
Yeah. But really thinking of this and having clear focus on this being an opportunity for them to grow their muscles, right? And that takes time, right? A major league pitcher doesn't go straight from, the little league field straight to the World Series. All of those other little steps, it takes a long time and a lot of hard work. And that's okay. That is absolutely okay, because that's how you develop expertise.
We were talking a little bit about the amount of time that kids focus sometimes on a Lego set. And really, Legos are broken into a series of little tiny steps, just helping kids think about that lots of things can be broken into little tiny steps like that and into a process like that, and that's good.
Right. And then each of those little steps are little mini successes
Yep.
towards the bigger goal too.
Yep.
So kind of, really specifically outlining, hey, I saw you do this time, and that's in learning. Awesome. Keep going, right? Pretty soon it'll be a bigger piece that they've accomplished on their own.
And that confidence that comes from that accomplishment, right, helps get your kid more equipped and ready for that next mountain, because there will be another one coming as they continue to learn. And it bolsters their academic self-esteem, their identity, their confidence in themselves. And that's what helps fuel that self-management. That's a big self-management, self-motivation, all those pieces that are a big part of what we want to coach into.
Yeah.
So it's not just what your child is doing, but it's also that their identity is growing through that experience too.
That's a big point. All right. So join us in a conversation below, and we'd love to hear what you're thinking.